Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're going to be breaking down my 2026 fall forecast. And you guys are going to be able to see my reasoning behind it, and I'm going to be able to explain it to you guys. So first we're going to walk through the basics of how I made the forecast. So I looked at multiple things. So I looked at the what was it? The INSO, the El Nino La Nina. We have the different regions here. So we have this equatorial sea surface temperatures here. This is what's a El Nino. We have 5 degrees Celsius or more above normal sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific. And as you can see, the cold water kind of got pushed this way. And then I also looked at the Pacific Decadal Oscillation, which is where we have colder water temperatures around this area. And then contrary to that, we have extremely warm water temperatures across this area, the Central North Pacific. And I took both of these and I matched up analog years that only matched with this. Unfortunately, the thing about the El Nino is it is record breaking, so we cannot know what this one's going to be like. So the only thing about this is I did go a little bit contrary to some anomalies based on how I expect this exceptionally strong one to behave. So we have the Nino 3.4 index. As you can see, it's expected to be exceptionally strong, above around 2.5 degrees Celsius mark by November, about the end of the fall months, and then it decays as we go into spring. So let's look at our September forecast. As you can see, I took this one. This one is from October of 2023, or September of 2023. As you can see, we had drier conditions prevailing across the east, and we had wetter conditions prevailing across much of the west here. I do not expect that to be the case this October. We do have the mid-Atlantic being exceptionally wet there. And then we have warmer temperatures prevailing across the eastern states, about neutral temperatures prevailing across the southeast, and we have colder temperatures prevailing in the southwest, which I do expect that to happen somewhat. And then we do September 2006. It was exceptionally wet that year across the Mid-Atlantic and the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valleys and the Mississippi Valley. And then we have the Southwest and the North Central Plains here being included in some of this wetter activity. We do have the Northwest here being included in drier activity. Let's move on. We have the temperature ranks here, and we had exceptionally cold temperatures across the most of the interior United States into the East Coast, and then the Northwest we had being warmer than normal. The Southwest was a little bit mixed here. We had some colder, some warmer, some even near record warmest, and some like the record warmest, bordering the below normal temperatures. So that was very interesting. So here is my September 2026 forecast for temperatures. I expect the Northwest to be above average here. As you can see, I have the above average shading and also portions of the Southwest. But the coastal Southwest I do expect to be below average temperature wise, and the eastern states, as we have this El Nino flow and it could be exceptionally intense here. Especially driving up here up into the east, and you'll see that reflected here. We have the jet stream pattern. Most of this activity coming into the southeast or southwest, and then driving back up the east coast here. Although I do have below average from northern Maine and also below average for the Northwest in precipitation. Alright, let's take a look at my October forecast. And for my October forecast, I took some analog years. This is 2023 October. We had some drier conditions generally across the southeast. The north central states obviously wetter, as like lake effect, and also we had some other factors. And then we have this pocket here in the south central states, and then the southwest was exceptionally dry, which I do not see this occurring because of the El Nino. We did see the north central essentially being the only average to below average. The rest was above average. Um, so we do have in October 2018, we had most of the central states and the eastern states being above normal precipitation wise. West Coast, we had below normal. Temperature wise, we had the central states in a below normal phase and the northeast. And then we had the southwest and the southeast being warmer temperature wise. This is October 2004, and we had most of the nation being above normal, aside from a few pockets in the plains, the mountain west, northern Indiana, and then obviously the main outlier being the eastern coast. I don't anticipate that this year. We do have a bunch of warmer temperatures across the nation, the Mid-Atlantic, the northwestern plains, and portions of the southwest being the only exceptions. So this is my precipitation forecast. I forecast much of the south to be above average as we still have this El Nino pattern. It probably won't be as intense as it will be in the winter. Another note to mention, I'll mention that in a second. So we have below average precipitation in the northwest and in the northeast here. So what I was going to mention is obviously in October, these below average temperatures I anticipate will obviously not be winter-like conditions because it's October. And it might be winter-like conditions for the northern areas, but not for these middle areas in between where they do see snow in the winter, but not this early. I believe the earliest it's ever snowed in near my city was about Halloween. So, and obviously for the desert southwest areas, below average temperatures in October, especially the lower areas, won't mean much. But for the Sierra Nevadas, it could be a really early kickoff to winter. Let's hop into my November forecast. This is the final. This is the final month. Sorry, but if you heard that, that was. I don't know. Okay, so as you can see, we have most of the nation being drier than normal. This is November of 2023. We have exceptions in the very far south areas and the very far north areas, as you can see, but nothing much else. I don't anticipate that. And then we had pretty well above normal temperatures in this time frame. Now, November 2024. We had quite the bit of precipitation and activity across here. Looks like we had a stronger Pacific jet coming in from the south. And we also didn't have much here. So this is a typical El Nino pattern where we have a lot more precipitation here in the south. Although it is interesting that we did not have much precipitation down here, but we had it more concentrated up here. So this is a more northerly concentrated El Nino, it appears. Whoops. And then this is the temperatures for November 2004. We had the southwest being cooler, and that was the only area, as the rest of the nation was either average or warmer. November 2006, we really had those dry conditions persisting throughout the central and southwestern states, while we had wetter conditions for the northwest and the east. This is atypical for El Nino because usually we don't get that much of a northern jet here during an El Nino. This is the temperature for that year, and we had a lot of the nation warmer, the only exceptions being deep south and the northwest. Alright, so let's hop into my November forecast. Obviously, we've seen that above average temps for this area would be possible. I do expect below average temperatures. So this is a really similar similar fall pattern that I've been referencing throughout the whole video. And it's the fact that I do expect much of these areas to stay below normal for the entire fall. Whether it be contrary to analogs, because the analogs I gave more weight to were the ones that more nicely matched. And even then I couldn't find a perfect match because obviously weather is changing all the time, and there's a very low chance you're ever going to find a perfect analog. Um, so, and obviously with these record-breaking weather, it's honestly kind of hard to know what to expect. So this is just what I chose. Is I chose more of a typical pattern for these types of events. And notice I don't even have full confidence that these areas will be below normal. So I believe that was all I had. So, oh yeah, I forgot the precipitation forecast for November. Obviously, same thing we've been looking at: southwest, east coast, and then below average in the north. Typical El Nino stuff. So, I believe that's all I had. So, thank you guys for watching today's video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.